Well, indeed. The Art Lewis Show is sponsored by Westside Decorating Center, located at 5789 State Street, their newly expanded showroom, where you will also find new product line countertops, both quartz and granite, at Westside Decorating Center. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we're going to talk to Right to Work with someone from the Mackinac Center. At 11 o'clock, the Saginaw Home Builders Association will be the subject of focus, and their show coming up this weekend that I will be at Saturday morning from 9 to noon. But before we get there, there's going to be another presentation coming up in the very near future, and the presenter himself is with us this morning, a good friend and a man I greatly admire for his work. We say good morning to Ric Mixter. Ric, good morning to you.
Art Lewis, I can't believe I get to be on your show twice during the winter. This is a true honor, my brother.
I'll send you the bill. No.
Please do.
No. Yeah, so you can hang it up and say, look what I'm ignoring.
It'll be suitable for framing.
I know. Well, let's start out just to give an overview, and we'll go back to it again later on in the interview. But you're going to be up in this area this weekend, right?
I'm so excited to return to Bay County, and especially the mall museum that they actually have set up for the Saginaw River Museum, or the Saginaw River Marine Historical Society, and it's right in the Bay City Town Center.
Yep.
And so to be able to present right there next to all of these incredible artifacts from the marine industry on that river, it's got an amazing history, and I'll just kind of bring another chapter.
When are you doing it?
We'll do that Saturday at 6:30 in the evening, and I highly encourage people to get there early because I think we're going to be packed to the gills there. It's not super a lot of room, but I think it'll be amazing. And they're talking about already putting monitors out into the hallway. So you can stand next to Zale's jewelry and listen to Ric talk about lighthouses around the Great Lakes.
So I should get there probably 4 o'clock to get a seat, huh?
You always have a seat of honor, my friend.
I actually thought about it. I might be able to do it.
I would be thrilled. Good topics, too.
So what is the presentation about? Let's talk about those topics.
You bet. The lighthouses, like the ones that they actually take care of, the Saginaw River Range Light, are pretty easy and accessible. I mean, they do have a little bit of restriction because Dow Chemical owns the property, and they're opening it up more now. But the lights I'm going to talk about are the ones you can't get to, the offshore outposts that are 40, 50, 60 miles out in the middle of the lake that guard these reefs that, ships don't want to run into. So I just found it fascinating, these people that live there and really dedicated their lives to keep these lighthouses and keep the waterways safe. So we'll talk about those remote lighthouses that you can't normally see and some of the stories behind them.
And some of those, correct me if I'm wrong, Ric, but didn't some of those get sold privately? They
do, yeah. Now that we have GPS and better tracking than we've ever had, these lighthouses, many of which were built in the 1870s, they're outmoded, and unfortunately, they need a lot of love now because they really haven't been upkept the way that they used to be by the lighthouse service back in the day.
Yeah.
So, now they're being sold to private interests and societies, like Spectacle Reef has one, and Detour Reef we'll talk about as well. They put $1 million into their lighthouse to get it refurbished and kind of operate as almost like a bed and breakfast, but it's more of a keeper program, that you can visit and stay.
Yeah, I have a friend that bought one granite light. In Superior, and he does not set it up as a bed and breakfast, but I know he's got it totally refurbished and cameras on it and everything else.
Oh, it's right off Marquette. It's gorgeous, and I'm jealous of his cabin with the best view in the entire world.
Yeah, well, he's quite a guy, to say the least. How many of these lighthouses are there? I mean, it's interesting because people don't think of them. We think of the lights that we can see and get to. How many are there out in the lakes?
We have, easily over 40 that are, kind of remote that are difficult to see. Michigan leads the pack as far as states for lighthouses. 129 were originally kind of illuminated. Many of them shut down as, they didn't no longer need them. But the offshore ones, they still do illuminate, and they use remote automation. There's no longer people on these. So they do have to kind of share custody with the Coast Guard, who are still maintaining these lights. But the inside of them have been gutted, so there's little maintenance for the Coast Guard. So this is something I think that you're seeing, like Spectacle Reef is really adding a lot of cleanup and putting beds in there and stuff, because it is a fantastic place to experience the Great Lakes, to be out there like these men did so many years ago.
Now, some of these lights that they're selling privately, are they still in commission?
Oh, you bet. Yeah, the ones especially that are marking, entrances to harbors and such. And when you have like Standard Rock, which is 45, 50 miles out in the middle of Lake Superior off of Marquette, it actually shows a mountain peak that the water is 800 feet deep, and then all of a sudden there's a rock sticking up that a ship could run into. So these are still legitimate hazards, and they want to keep a light on it. It's just, most ships now use GPS to accurately wind their way around these obstacles, but it's nice to have something there that says, really, don't go here. This is not a good spot to be.
At what point in history did we start building these lighthouses?
It really started, we initially on the Great Lakes put out light ships that were kind of portable lighthouses that would go out there. So if we look at Waugoshance, it's up in the Straits. All these things were very early on marked by ships because it was easy to put them out there, anchor them, and then take them back in during the winter. But they realized that was a lot of work. So they built up these big, really monuments, if you will. They had to be specially designed to take the ice that would crunch these lighthouses down easily, packing up 40 feet high in some places in the Straits. So the design is very unique. And by the 1890s into the 1900s, we had a lot of lighthouses that were in full operation, especially as Escanaba opened up to move iron ore. We no longer have Escanaba as an ore port, so these lighthouses aren't as desperately needed as they were back at the turn of the century. So those have all kind of fallen down, and sadly, some of them, they'll never be repaired because it's just so far out in the middle of nowhere.
And we should distinguish these from range lights, like there is on Saginaw Bay coming down toward Bay City. You have range lights that will keep you in the channel off in the distance, but those are not lighthouses. Those are onshore, right?
Oh, and I think they're in our hearts as lighthouses. Anything
that's
with a
true.
beacon. Yeah, so the range light, I think, will be, very much defended as being a fantastic lighthouse that must be saved. And I'm along with them. The rear range light being the last of the series to guide these ships in so they can line up the lights and safely get through that snaky corridor that we have out in Saginaw Bay to get, into the river system. So, yeah, they're definitely not, I think, as monolithic as we see in the big limestone ones like Standard and Spectacle, but they certainly hold our hearts as a lighthouse often is. People just are attracted to these beacons, almost like moths to a flashlight. They love these beacons, and I can see why.
All right. We're going to try something, folks. Rick doesn't know this, but we're going to try this anyway. If you have any questions about lighthouses, shipwrecks, and the like, you can give us a call and talk to Rick himself. And you can do that at 989-752-6111 and join in the conversation. I think that'd be fun to try and see if we can get some response from our listeners. And got to be a lot of questions about the Great Lakes and Great Lakes shipping and all of that. And Rick is the expert. We will take a break. Hang on, Rick, and we'll be back. Ric Mixter with us this morning. He'll be in Bay City this Saturday. We'll tell you more about that as we go along.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Is your prostate secretly being destroyed without you knowing it? All the ads for these prostate pills like Super Beta Prostate, Saw Palmetto, ProstaStream, Prostagenics, and others. Want to know which pills work and which are garbage? Now you can. Get a free copy of the new guide, Prostate Secrets, that pulls back the curtain on the prostate pill industry. Learn what is really in these pills. Which pill has over 987 adverse event reports filed against it with the FDA? It's shocking. Learn the one food to avoid that is a prostate killer, and discover the 3 so-called health foods that destroy your prostate. Get your free copy at prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com. This free guide will show you how to end your prostate problems without drugs or surgery, 5 important things to do to protect your prostate, and much more. Warning, this guide is controversial and may be offensive to some readers as it pulls no punches. So go to prostatesecrets.com, prostatesecrets.com. That's prostatesecrets.com.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report. The Treasury Department, Federal Reserve, and FDIC worked together over the weekend to stabilize Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Regulators have taken control of the banks. All depositors will have access to their money. Tim Mayopoulos, a former president and CEO of Fannie Mae, will take over Silicon Valley Bank. London-based HSBC just purchased the UK business of Silicon Valley Bank for a British pound, roughly $1.21. Goldman Sachs analysts say now it's unlikely the Fed will raise interest rates at the meeting that wraps up March 22nd. Also, a major drug company merger. Pfizer is paying $43 billion to buy Seagen, Seattle Genetics. Seagen is known for its cancer treatments. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Navage helps you breathe better, sleep deeper, and snore less, but the biggest payoff is improved health. Navage is good personal hygiene and can help you stay healthier. At Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Research shows listeners prefer a personalized experience. So to help you remember, Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance. We personalized this ad for Amber, who really misses boy bands from the 90s.
Hey girl, I'm the cute one, here to tell you how Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I'm the heartthrob. The only thing I love more than you is saving. And I'm the other boy in the band everyone forgot about. Just happy to be here.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 800-730-8405 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check. As easy as, that's 800-730-8405.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to a business of your choice. It's the WSGW Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Enter online at WSGW.com. When you enter, you choose the business you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you're drawn as the winner. Businesses include Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Bay Landscaping, M&R Garage Door and Openers, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Midland Sand Company, The Tech Laboratory, All Seasons Heating and Cooling, Delta Door Sales, Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, Roof Max, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Cranes L&M Appliance, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Westside Decorating Center, Big Ick Nursery and Garden Center, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, Bonifant Cabinetry, Woolfiles Ace Hardware. The Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Deadline to enter is March 24th. Enter online at WSGW.com.
On the next monthly Van Camp and Robbins show.
Why doesn't Joe Biden trust stairs?
Well, they're not very good to him.
Oh, they're always up to something.
Monthly Van Camp and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. We're talking to Ric Mixter. He's going to be in town Saturday at the Bay City Town Center for the Marine Historical Society here in the area. And we're talking about that this morning. But as I said, we would be happy to take some calls and see if you can put Ric on the spot. That's the reason for it.
No. I love it.
But we have one waiting for us. This is Gary in Bridgeport. Gary, good morning. You're on with Ric Mixter.
Good morning, Art and Ric. This summer, my brother-in-law and I and my daughter were up at Traverse City at Mission Point, and they just finished refurbishing that one up there. It was in really good shape when they got it done. It was beautiful. And you go inside, and you get to crawl all the way up if you want. You can crawl all the way up through it. Now, it's very small. It's got a real small ladder. You can barely get up through it. But it's a beautiful sight once you get up in there. And you know those lighthouses, they're called Michigan's castles. And I'm glad that there's an organization out there that are refurbishing these and keeping them up, because there's something to see.
Ric?
Absolutely, Gary. You know, that one especially, the location is so gorgeous. It was built up in 1870. I'll tell you what really makes it happen, though, are the volunteers, or the people that actually are in the societies. And that's why it's so crucial for people like you, Gary, that, you know, buy these memberships, get involved with these societies to make sure that those dollars get in there. It's not, you know, it's not cheap to paint even a lighthouse, much less totally remodel it. So pick a favorite lighthouse, make sure that you join their societies, and put your money where, you know, our mouths are, to say we want to protect these lights. And there's a lot of societies, a lot of different lights to actually do that.
Oh, I agree 100%. I think that they're much worth saving for future generations.
I agree with you.
Histories behind them.
Absolutely.
Great.
Good talking to you,
Gary. Thanks.
Likewise, Gary.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. All right. There you go. And, you know, from what he said, Ric, with the staircase and being very narrow or anything, these places don't sound like they'd be very good for somebody with claustrophobia.
No, and any kind of mobility difficulties, you know, I mean, honestly, these were designed, and many of them have 80 plus stairs to get to the top, you know, so sadly it's not for everybody, but many of the programs actually have videos too that you can actually, you know, go up there. So if you do have an issue with claustrophobia, or especially going up and down, you know, the multitude of stairs that these poor keepers had to do over and over and over again to keep those lights lit. There are opportunities, I think, for everybody to see, but not get up.
All right, let's chat with Errol in Saginaw. Errol, good morning. You're on with Ric.
Ric, are you just looking for something to do for finding these new shipwrecks to go play around with, buddy?
You know, honestly, they're finding so many now. I just love the stories. I mean, the tragedy is that they end up on the bottom, but the worst tragedy is that we'd forget about them. So, Errol, my job is to make sure we don't.
How deep is the one that they just found in Lake Superior? Is it 500 feet or more?
Yeah, the nucleus is the latest one that's been released. And believe it or not, the Great Lake Shipwrecks Historical Society has found almost a dozen. The joke was that Daryl, their operator up there, the marine operator, was going to make a calendar with all the boats that he was finding down there. And it's been very significant. The last whaleback was discovered, the nucleus, and we're looking at, you know, the fleet of lumber vessels too that will be featured on National Geographic in just a couple of days here. So it's very exciting.
How come you don't come out with a calendar, sir? You have some spare time, sir.
I do have way too much spare time, but I'm going to try to finish my next book.
Yeah, this is a long way from scuba diving along the Salva River picking up junk, ain't it, buddy?
I'll tell you, what an opportunity, though. There's so many treasures there, as you know, and those date back to literally our first people. So it's amazing to find those in the river.
Yeah.
Were you up there when we were cleaning the Salva and the guy from Bay City from the scuba club found the grenade and he's holding it up?
I was not.
And he said,
I probably. I would have run away, my friend.
Yeah,
You won't be
find
alone.
Another place to stand. So, God, it's nice talking to you again. Keep
All right.
Likewise.
Thanks, Harold.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye
Bye.
now. Bye-bye. So, Rick, how many shipwrecks do we know occurred, but we haven't found the ships? How many undetected ships are on the bottom of the Great Lakes?
There's easily 200 that we don't know about, and probably more. You know, as we look at all of the records that are down there, we know the modern stuff, anything over 400 feet, we probably have less than 50 of those. But the greatest, the biggest shipwreck from the 1913 storm, the Carruthers, is 550 feet long in Lake Huron, and we can't find it. So no matter how big they are, the Steinbrenner being another one that went down in 53, they're deep, and that's what really makes them difficult, because not only is it to find it, but then what kind of technology do you have to go that deep to look at it? And that's limited to only a couple people.
But that's, it would seem in this day and age with side scanning sonar and all of the technology that's out there, we ought to be able to spot these things.
And that's what's happening. I mean, we can even see them from Google Maps, and that's how many of them are being discovered. I'd say the overwhelming majority of them are being discovered by people that are just going through and finding clear water days on Google Maps and finding them. But yes, the new sonars can practically tell you what kind of fish are underneath your boat. So to be able to tell a three-masted schooner, you can almost guess what ship it is when you find it, because of the cool technology. And it's getting cheaper by the day.
All right, let's talk to Joe in Saginaw. Joe, you're on with Ric Mixter. Good morning.
Hi. Hey, I can't remember who the author was, but there was an author, a Michigan author, that wrote quite a lot about the early lighthouses and the fact that women sometimes managed the lighthouses during the Civil War because the men had gone all off to, with the Michigan soldiers off to the Civil War. But I can't remember the author's name. I just wondered if you were familiar with.
Oh, you bet. There's been some great authors who've written about lighthouses, from Terry Pepper to Wes Oleszkowski, but the women in the lighthouse story was told by Pat Mayar. She's amazing. She used to be our publisher for Michigan History Magazine, which I've written many articles for. So Pat's book on women in the lighthouses is unbelievable.
Yeah, but they also described, how the mirrors and so forth were designed because they didn't have electric lights, so they had to go out there and light the lights up at night and so forth. Yes.
Oh, and just the messy job that it was to have to keep them clean, with the fuel that was burning would leave, soot.
Oh, right. They had to clean them all the time.
That's interesting, because we tend to forget these lighthouses. Some of them were built before there was electricity.
They were using whale oil in many times. So, that's pretty incredible. And that's why they call them wickies. The old keepers were called wickies because they had wicks that they had to keep trimmed and clean so they would burn cleanly.
They were basically lanterns, with it.
Big ones.
They had to keep cleaning. Yeah, big lanterns and so forth.
Interesting.
Well, thanks to Fresnel, we actually had better lenses. With a small output of a light, like a candle, you could literally light it because of the Fresnel lenses that would amplify and focus that light. So it's a really cool design.
Lenses were the big thing when they invented those lenses, but they had to be cleaned all the time too.
You bet. Full-time job.
All right.
All right.
Joe, thanks. Appreciate the call.
Who was the author again that wrote about the
Pat
women?
Pat Mayar.
Pat Mahar. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Good enough,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. All right, we'll be back. Rick, hang on, and lines are open for you if you have questions or you want to converse with Ric Mixter about the Great Lakes and shipwrecks and lighthouses. 989-752-6111, the number to call.
Homeowners, Bob Wilsey of Suntech Wind and Solar here in Standish. Are you looking for energy independence for your home? You should be. Michigan utilities are closing their remaining coal plants soon, resulting in more power outages. Home solar with battery backup not only provides power during the grid outage, it reduces your light bill every day the sun shines. Unlike a generator, it just sits there. I'd love to show you how it all works. Come visit us at 319 South Main Street in Standish or visit us at suntech-windsolar.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced elder law, estate planning, asset and business protection planning in Michigan for over 3 decades. As a veteran, I've also helped veterans and their spouses benefit from special VA programs. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned the rules, what solutions work, and had your questions answered, such as, can I protect my stuff from the government and long-term care costs? What is the difference between revocable and irrevocable trusts? How can I avoid probate? And do I need to? Should I give my stuff to the kids or others? Know the rules and what solutions work. Get answers to your questions.
If your planning is more than 5 years old, you may have missed some great opportunities. Call 989-790-1461 to attend Attorney Jerry Reif's free workshop, How to Protect Your Stuff in 3 Easy Steps. This workshop is on Thursday, March 16th at 2 o'clock in Saginaw at the Capolco Community Credit Union. Call 989-790-1461 today or register online at jerryreiflawyer.com.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing. Or this one. I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better, unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
The WSGW Broadcasting Studios are sponsored by the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center in Midland.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. We are chatting with Ric Mixter. He's got a presentation coming up this weekend that we will remind you of toward the end of the hour here. But more calls for Ric. If you have any questions about Great Lakes shipping and lighthouses and the like, give us a call at 989-752-6111. Ric, before we get back to the phones, what was considered the heyday of shipping on the Great Lakes? Or is there such a thing?
Arguments, I think, with everybody on when the real heyday was. We certainly see peaks and valleys. As iron ore comes in, we've never moved as much iron ore with these 1,000-footers that are out now. So it could be argued now. But if you look at, the thousands of boats that were on before our highway system was instituted and the schooners that were available before we even had railroads, you could easily pick any of them. I'm doing a complete look into the salt industry in just Saginaw and Bay City, where we led almost the world in salt production. using shipping only, so I think that there's a bunch of different opportunities, and that's what always fascinates me to study each chapter.
All right, this is John in Bay City. John, good morning. You're on with Ric Mixter.
Good morning, Rick.
Hi, John.
My question is, lighthouses and rear range lighthouses. It's my understanding that the rear range system was invented on the Saginaw River. Is that true?
Not true, but it's a great, I think a great tie-in. A lot of people have put it to a young boy named DeWitt Braun that actually was the first guy to kind of hang a lantern and do it. But we had been using range systems like that before. I think to really put it together into a lighthouse system, yes, it was among the earliest on the Great Lakes for sure. In fact, that you might even put it as one of the first there. But they definitely have been using range systems before that. But it is a cool story about the 16-year-old that would collect money from the shipping industry, to make it safe for these boats to come up the winding river. And I love the story for sure.
Well, thank you.
All right, John.
You betcha.
Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And let's talk to Cindy in Bay City. Cindy, good morning.
Good morning. I don't have a question. I just want to make a comment. My husband and I photographed all the lighthouses on the upper Great Lakes following the Northern Lights by Charles Hyde. We photographed all of them except for the one around Gary, Indiana. We started out with doing the ones on land and then ended up having to buy a boat so we could get to the elusive ones. And it's been a real interesting hobby for us over a 20-year period. Unfortunately, he passed, but I wanted to say that I'm having the Saginaw River rear range light etched on his headstone.
Oh, no kidding.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And what a tribute to be able to capture those into not only a photograph, but to use the Northern Lights behind it. That takes a complete, not only a creativity, but a technical knowledge of cameras for sure, Cindy.
Cindy, let me ask Cindy, have you published any of those photos or thought about a book or something?
No, I have not. I have them all in albums, and some of them we had made blown up and had framed, but no, and my children aren't interested in them, so I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with them. But like I said, I have tons and tons, and I wrote a chronology as we were in the boat on all of them that we visited. So I have quite an interesting assortment of things.
Yeah, I'm sure Rick, you would confirm this. I'm sure the Marine Historical Society would be interested, to say the least.
They would be thrilled, especially with the stories, and to create a web presence with a lot of that too would be amazing, to be able to put your story along with them, because it's more than just a picture. It's the story that goes behind it. I think you found how exciting it is to bring that story back to life.
Absolutely. I mean, we just really enjoyed it. We said we weren't golfers, so we had to do something. So we bought a boat. So it was a real interesting hobby.
You still have the boat?
No.
No.
No. Unfortunately, we don't. So,
but you have all the memories and all the pictures, and that's good.
Right, I do. So I just wanted to share that, and I think, did you say it's 6:30 on Saturday?
It is 6:30 at the mall. Yep, it'll be fantastic. Right next to Zoll's is what I understand. So
I know where it is. So I will make attempt to be there.
I would love to see you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Yeah. Bye. Yep. Bye.
Bye, Cindy. All right. Well, that gives us the opportunity, since you brought it up, remind everybody again where you'll be and what you'll be talking about.
It's the only mall I know with a lighthouse on their logo. The Bay City Town Center has a lighthouse. So I'll be there on Saturday at 6:30 talking about the offshore lights. So we're talking about the explosion at Standard Rock. I actually interviewed one of the guys that survived it, the Spectacle Reef, which was one of the engineering marvels of the world. It was at the World's Fair, the technology that they used to build it. So lots of neat stories.
Rick, let me ask, I don't think I've ever asked you this. If an organization wanted to contract you for speaking engagement, how would they get a hold of you?
Oh, easily through my website. You can go to lakefury.com or shipwreckpodcast.com, or rick@airworthy.tv is my email. And I do quite a few lectures all around the Great Lakes, and we're even in negotiations to do some cruises, which would be fantastic as
really?
well.
Like on the Great Lakes cruise ships?
Yep, and even on the Detroit River, we've been talking.
Yeah.
So there's some neat opportunities out there, and to be able to be out there live, that's what I really love doing. So it'll be fantastic to share that.
All right, hang on, and we'll be back. We're talking to Ric Mixter. He is an underwater videographer and researcher extraordinaire. Known him for many, many decades, and not a finer individual do I know. And we'll be back with Ric, and still have time to take another call or two from you. But let me talk about some other great individuals that I know, and that's the McDonald family of McDonald Ford. I've known the patriarch of the family, McDonald Sr., Tom McDonald Sr., before he passed, and his son, Tom McDonald Jr., and his son, Tom McDonald III. Those two own McDonald Ford in Freeland. And of course, they're a Ford dealer, but they're more than a Ford dealer, because they have a lot more in their pre-owned inventory, like Chevys and Cadillacs and Jeeps and Lincolns and Mercedes-Benz and Fords. Matter of fact, I'm driving a very special Ford Ranger pickup right now because it has what's called the Tremor package on it, which is the off-road package for the Ranger, and it's loaded head to toe with all kinds of electronics. And it's been through McDonald Ford's extensive 100-point inspection, which lets you buy a car with confidence. And if something goes awry, don't worry about it, because McDonald has a tremendous service department for both small jobs and major repairs. And they have the Drive Collision Center, and they have the Quick Change Center. It's all waiting for you at McDonald Ford in Freeland, 6790 Midland Road in Freeland. The McDonald family welcomes you to their family. They are devoted to helping and serving you. Stop out, visit them today, McDonald Ford in Freeland.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Get nothing but nets and win up to $15,000 cash. It's the $100,000 Hoop to Win every Saturday in March, 6 to 11 p.m. Shoot to win each week. Then on March 25th, players compete for up to $15,000. The $100,000 Hoop to Win giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway. Reimagine. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Welcome to retirement. Now, replace your paycheck. To local financial coach Kevin Ray, this is what retirement planning is all about.
Building monthly paychecks. And how you build those monthly paychecks is going to determine how well in retirement you're going to enjoy it. So sit down and build a good framework, and it starts with income.
So build your framework with Kevin and the team at Insight Folios today by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON info.com.
Hi, this is Mike Avery. You know you can hear my Outdoor Magazine show Sunday mornings, 9 till noon on WSGW. But now there's another option. Saturday morning, 6 till 9. Tune in for the latest outdoor news and information, hunting and fishing tips, wildlife and conservation issues, even some wild game cooking. That's Outdoor Magazine now on Saturday mornings too, 6 till 9, right here on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
All right. Another voice from the TV5 days. We're talking to Ric Mixter, and of course, we just heard from Mike Avery. Were you guys there together?
This partner of mine too when I first started Airworthy, so I'd love to hear his voice.
Yeah, he's doing a phenomenal job. All right, so I want to talk a little bit more about this presentation Saturday at the Bay City Town Center. Specifically, what are you going to be talking about, or the visuals? What's it like to go to one of your lectures?
Oh boy, I love having the big video screen because, as everybody knows, I work for TV5 and TV12, and I love bringing video in. So we'll not only see the lighthouses and get a tour of many of them, we'll hear from the keepers that actually live there. And in some cases, some of these keepers spent months there without relief because they're so remote. And that's what's unique to these ones that don't have roads going to them when they're in the middle of the lake. So yeah, we'll definitely explore Standard Rock, the most remote lighthouse in the United States. It's out in Lake Superior. We'll talk about Spectacle, which was built out of a limestone quarry. So million-year-old fossils that actually built up this lighthouse. We'll talk about Huron Island, where a keeper was actually hit by a shipwreck and busted his shoulder. So these stories are just so captivating. And for me, because these are lighthouses that don't get as much love, they're farther away. I think it's important that we keep them in mind's eye, and that's how I did this for PBS early on, Offshore Outposts, and it's been a very popular talk. And with the River Historical Society, with their efforts they've been doing at the lighthouse there at the rear range, it fits in perfect.
So let me ask you this, Rick. You've been at this for quite some time. What's on your wish list that you haven't been able to do?
Oh boy, finding the next shipwreck is always the best.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, there's so many chapters that are unwritten yet. And even as I finished my Bottle Goodbyes book, we were talking about the Michigan in one of the chapters, and I was on board a boat that found the Michigan. So it's so exhilarating to be there when you're the first person, and sobering because these are grave sites for people who lost their lives delivering these cargoes. And for me, it's just that roller coaster of emotion, and then being able to bring these stories to light and to put them into a way that people can understand them. That's been my real, thrill to do it. And it's not me that I think is the hero in any of this stuff. It's those amazing people who are the ones that survived the shipwreck, that lived on the lighthouse, that were part of the men and the women that rescue these people daily. Those are my heroes, and those are the ones I like to showcase in my talks.
How much time are you spending underwater these days?
Not enough. I wish there was more, but honestly, with our technology, I'm on the board of directors for the Shipwreck Society at Whitefish Point, and they've got so much amazing technology to go deep into cold water. I like that better. It's nice to be able to have that connection, to touch it, to visit the site personally, but truthfully, it's so much safer, and I can spend more time down there if I use a robot. So I think that's really where I get the most really quality time down there. But I'll try to get into my gear because it's just so much fun to be weightless. And I hope that other of your listeners, would try it as well. It's a fantastic sport, no matter what your age, and the gear is so much more manageable now. It's a sport that we hope we can get more people involved in.
How deep have you gone, and how deep could you go?
I can do about 165 on air. I'm not qualified to go any deeper because the air at that depth is toxic. It makes you into almost a narcotic. They call it narcosis, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So 165 feet, I've been down to the Spengler, which is in near Alpena, just to see a ship's wheel. And I was out of my mind in just lunacy from what the pressure does to you. So you can take training and go to helium that will offset those and go. You can go deeper. There's people that even have full, submarines we know that can go deeper as well.
Right.
So the technology is getting better and faster, and I think safer. And I think that's really revolutionizing the sport. It's a good time to learn how to scuba dive for sure.
How long does it take? Very long?
Yeah, two weekends. Yeah, you do one. It's a lot of classroom and there's a little bit of math. I'm not going to lie. We both fly too, and I know it was harder. The math for being a pilot was a lot harder than what it takes to be a diver. But it's a serious sport. You're going to a place where you can't breathe, so you've got to take it very seriously. And open water training is very important, that you actually get into a lake and not just a pool. And that's part of the training. So that limits when you can do it to actually get your open water. And it's just so much fun.
Oh, Rick, look, I want to thank you for spending the hour with us this morning, as always. And we remind everybody this Saturday, 6:30, Bay City Town Center in the River Historical Museum area. Rick will be there. Any charge?
No charge at all. Just if you would like to make a donation, I know that group would appreciate it.
Sure.
Every dollar counts, and as they try to change over that lighthouse and keep the museum up.
Absolutely. All right, my friend. If I don't see you Saturday, although I might, we'll be in touch in the future. As always.
My fingers are crossed. Let me know if you ever want to talk history.
I will. Rick,
thank you, Art.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You too, sir.
Ric Mixter, and we thank him for joining us here on WSGW. If you have never seen one of his presentations, trust me, it's worth your time. We'll be back to close out this hour after these notes.
Ah, the joys of spring. But as temperatures rise, you may need to keep your home cool. That's where All Seasons Heating and Cooling comes in. Located at 1819 East Airport Road in Midland, they offer expert installation and repair services for your air conditioning system. Don't let the changing seasons catch you off guard. Contact All Seasons Heating and Cooling today at 1819 East Airport Road in Midland, Michigan. They're your go-to experts for all your heating and cooling needs. Visit them online at allseasonsheatingmidland.com or call 989-282-2959.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Save big with rebates on qualifying purchases of energy-efficient shades from Hunter Douglas that can help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter, all while helping you save on energy consumption during the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings Event. Vignette Modern Roman shades offer contemporary glamour with luxurious fabrics, while Sonnet Cellular Roller shades beautifully diffuse light to create a soft glow. Duet Honeycomb shades are the industry's leading energy-efficient window treatments. They feature a special cellular design that traps air to keep your home insulated from outdoor temperatures. Hunter Douglas window treatments can help you save on energy costs in every season. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings Event now through April 10th. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth, celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
At Staples, school is always in session, and savings never take a holiday. Especially now, during Staples Teacher Palooza, you can save even more on everything for school, like 25% on classroom decor and stickers, and save up to 40% on trusted brands for the classroom, like Post-it, Papermate, and Elmer's. Whether you're a teacher restocking your classroom or a parent looking to help, during Staples Teacher Palooza, everyone saves big. But deals end soon, so hurry to Staples, your working and learning store. Offers end 3/18. In-store only while supplies last.
That'll do it for this first hour of the Art Lewis Show. We thank Ric Mixter for joining us here on WSGW. We're going to move on to our next hour, and during that hour, we're going to talk to Stephen Delie from the Mackinac Center about right to work. And then, time permitting, we'll have open phones. That's what is ahead this morning. News is first, and we'll be back right after that.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Paul Gauguin Cruises.
I'm Stephen Portnoy in Washington, where the president assures Americans their banking system is safe.
Every American should feel confident that their deposits will be there if and when they need them.
That after the extraordinary weekend action to protect depositors at two failed banks, Silicon Valley Bank of California and Signature Bank of New York. President Biden authorized a rare move, allowing the FDIC to preserve all the accounts at the two banks, and not just those under the traditional $250,000 insurance limit.
Small businesses across the country that deposit accounts at these banks can breathe easier knowing they'll be able to pay their workers and pay their bills.
The president says none of the losses will be borne by taxpayers, but instead by other banks which fund the insurance system.
I'm going to ask Congress and the banking regulators to strengthen the rules for banks to make it less likely this kind of bank failure would happen again.
But to reassure Americans worried now, he also made this promise.
We will not stop at this. We'll do whatever is needed.
I'm Stephen Portnoy in Washington. Now with more, here's Deborah Rodriguez.
The bank failures and the president's remarks are impacting the financial markets. Stocks sharply lower at the open, with First Republic leading the decline, dropping 60%. Right now, the Dow is up 89. The S&P is off 6. Wire reports say the Biden administration is approving ConocoPhillips' major oil drilling project on Alaska's petroleum-rich North Slope. That's despite opposition from indigenous environmental groups like Sonia Aki-Gaffs.
If Willow is to be approved, Nooksut would be completely encircled in oil development and contributing to the already high rates of chronic illnesses due to exposure to extreme pollution.
Parts of California are bracing for another severe storm after devastating flooding over the weekend. Correspondent Carter Evans is in Springville.
Entire neighborhoods submerged after heavy rains flooded parts of California.
I think I got visual on them. Copy, we got visual.
Nearly 200 people had to be rescued by first responders and the National Guard over the weekend. Monterey County officials issued multiple evacuation orders last night along the Salinas River, stretching nearly 30 miles.
A powerful nor'easter could dump more than a foot of snow on parts of New York and New England. Michelle Yeoh has become the first Asian woman to win Best Leading Actress at the Oscars.
For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope and possibilities.
Yeoh on ABC starred in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which swept the awards, winning Best Picture, Supporting Acting categories, and Best Director on ABC. This is CBS News.
CBS News is brought to you by Paul Gauguin Cruises. Artfully authentic, all-inclusive year-round cruising to Tahiti and the South Pacific. Visit pgcruises.com today.
Hi, this is Jessica, and we're where you are. These are more than just words in our jingle. At United Financial Credit Union, we are here for you with our full range of digital products, so you can easily take the credit union anywhere you go. Open your new account today, and you could win a $500 gas card. From youth accounts to retirement accounts to business accounts, we can help you with all of your financial needs. Not a member? Why not? It's never been easier to open an account. And for a limited time, you can be entered to win a $500 gas card. It's time for you to check out your local friendly credit union and see how we will put you first.
Must meet eligibility requirements, federally insured by the NCUA.
We're where you work, where you live. United Financial Credit Union. Serving the Valley community.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Businesses don't run on automation or algorithms alone. What powers businesses are your people and the people they serve. At Cintas, your dedicated service reps understand what you need to help you keep your employees feeling safe, comfortable, and performing their best. So your business can too. For workwear, essential cleaning products, first aid and safety supplies, and fire protection services, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies, snow, and 26 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A Flint City Councilman has been convicted of disorderly conduct for an incident that occurred during a council meeting in April 2022. A jury found Councilman Eric Mays guilty of the misdemeanor on Friday in Genesee District Court. On April 25th, Mays was handcuffed and escorted from a city council meeting after refusing to leave when ordered to by Council President Ali Herkenroder and a majority of the remaining council members. Mays faces up to 90 days in jail or a $500 fine. The suspect was taken into custody after nearly a 4-hour-long standoff in Aranac County's Aranac Township on Friday. According to the Aranac County Sheriff's Department, deputies responded to a home invasion call shortly after 7 o'clock in the morning. Officials say the suspect attempted to leave the scene with a female hostage, but their vehicle was immobilized in a ditch after crashing into a police vehicle. The Sheriff's Office says the 4-hour-long standoff ensued, ending with the release of the female hostage and the arrest of the suspect. The Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational, or GLBI, and the Ladies Professional Golf Association, LPGA Foundation, are collaborating to support the next generation of female leadership through the sport of golf. The partners are bringing the LPGA Leadership Academy to Michigan this June for the 4th year, running with a program that blends golf and business skills. By participating in activities on and off the course, teenage girls learn life skills, build confidence, and discover their voice and personal strength through group exercises, expert-led discussions, journaling, and lessons with LPGA certified golf instructors. All young women ages 13 to 18 interested in golf and planning to pursue a STEM-related field in college are encouraged to apply online at girlsgolf.org/events/leadership academy. The application deadline is April 26th. The 2-day event will be on June 20th and 21st at the Midland Country Club. WSGW News Time 10:07.
Let the sun shine in with new window coverings. This is Sonia with Westside Decorating Center. We offer a variety of soft shades and blinds that protect against damaging UV rays without disrupting your view. Ask about our slumber shades if you prefer a complete room darkening experience. Call our experts for a personal consultation at 989-793-6182 or visit our newly remodeled showroom, Westside Decorating Center, 5789 State Street in Saginaw Township.
You know, I'm starting to worry about all this crime lately.
I was worried too, so I made sure I was prepared.
How'd you do that?
I took my CPL class at Applied Training Solutions. They covered everything I needed to know to get my concealed pistol license. You can never be too safe.
Applied Training Solution is Michigan's premier training facility. We offer both live fire training and digital simulation training. Whether you're looking for your initial training or advanced training, see us at simurange.com or ATS Midland on Facebook.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. The man who fatally shot 3 students and wounded 5 others on the MSU campus left a note describing himself as being hated, a loner, and an outcast. Anthony McRae also wrote he was tired of being rejected in the note, dated the day before the February 13th shooting and released Friday by police. His rampage began around 8 p.m. when shots were fired inside a classroom at Berkey Hall. Police believe the 43-year-old McRae then walked into the nearby Student Union building and fired more shots. The campus was placed on lockdown, which ended when McRae was confronted by police and shot himself around 4 miles from campus. The note was in his pocket. Daylight saving time is here, but not everyone thinks moving our clocks twice a year is a good move. Cheryl Fritz with Michigan News Source explains.
Some doctors believe it can affect your health. Recently, there has been a new push nationally and locally to stop clocks changing twice a year. Senator Mark Rubio introduced legislation to continue daylight saving permanently. Senator Jeff Irwin introduced legislation in Michigan to keep us on the summer schedule year-round, saying, quote, "Twice a year, we volunteer Michiganians for more car accidents and injuries at work. We see lower productivity and an increased number of heart attacks and strokes, as well as a noticeable uptick in general crankiness. The health risks related to daylight saving times have to do with springing forward and becoming out of alignment with our internal clock, otherwise known as our circadian rhythm." For Michigan News Source, I'm Cheryl Fritz.
Gas prices in Michigan have declined slightly after setting a new high of $3.55 per gallon last week for the year. Michigan drivers now paying an average of $3.53 per gallon. The price is 22 cents more this time than last month, but still 72 cents than this time last year. WSGW News Time 10:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here is your WSGW
weatherology forecast. For today, we'll have mostly cloudy skies along with some light snow, expecting less than an inch of daytime snowfall with highs up to 32. Winds a bit breezy from the north at 10 to 15. For tonight, a lingering chance for some snow showers in the evening, lows in the upper teens. For Tuesday, at least some partial sunshine making a return with highs climbing up to 33. Wednesday, enjoying lots of sunshine, a high of 42. Then for Thursday, a chance for rain developing into the afternoon with highs in the mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Michael Carroll with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 25.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com. The Art Lewis Show is presented by Westside Decorating Center.
Indeed, Westside Decorating Center is our sponsor at 5789 State Street in Saginaw with their newly expanded showroom, new product lines, including countertops. You'll find it all at Westside Decorating Center. We're going to talk about right to work for a little bit this hour, and we do that with Stephen Delie from the Mackinac Center. And we say good morning to Stephen. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. All right. I think before we get into the nitty-gritty of what's happened here in Michigan, give us just a brief overview of what right-to-work laws are all about.
Sure thing. So the way that right-to-work laws work is highly connected to federal law. Under federal law, if you are a member of what they call a collective bargaining unit, which is just
a union,
a group of, yes, well, not quite actually. So the collective bargaining unit is a group of employees, and a union represents all of the employees within that unit.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean you have to be a member of the union to separately from that.
Now that's federal law.
That's federal law. And the way right to work comes into play is that under federal law, the union has to represent that entire unit, even those who are non-members. What right to work does is makes it very clear that those non-members can't be forced to pay the union in order to keep their job.
But do I understand then that states have the right to pass right to work laws that are in opposition or contradiction to the federal law?
Well, the federal law specifically allows states to pass right to work law.
Okay.
Most of the time when you're looking at federal labor policy, the states really don't have much power. Right to work is an exception to that.
So Michigan, of course, a number of years ago passed a right to work law. And now it's headed for being rescinded, right?
That's the trajectory that we've seen from last week. The House passed bills repealing both public and private sector work. It's likely going to the Senate this week.
So let's separate those two for a moment, because we treat public differently than we treat private. Is that correct?
That's correct. So federal law that we've been talking about controls the private sector. So those are the non-governmental unions. Public sector is left entirely up to the states, and that's for government employees.
So here in Michigan, what did our right to work law provide?
Very simply put, both our public and our private sector right to work laws said you cannot be forced to pay a union in order to keep your job. Without that kind of a law, members of a bargaining unit have to pay the union, and if they don't, they can be fired.
You know, it seems to me, as an observer, this is one of those political footballs, depending who's in power, depending what you have. In other words, if Republicans were to take back control of the legislature, it'd be realistic to think that they would pass another right to work law. Democrats take control of the legislature, and it's realistic to think they're going to eliminate it. It depends who's in power, doesn't it?
From a legislative perspective, yes. However, it's important to remember, too, that the people of Michigan have already spoken on this. Back in 2012, there was a ballot proposal that would have banned right to work in Michigan, and the people overwhelmingly rejected it 57% to 43%.
So, given that, then why are we still playing football with it?
Well, it's a politically tense issue. There are strong feelings on both sides of this. We believe that right to work has shown better economic growth and offers workers greater choice.
Right.
But obviously, it's not very popular with unions.
But I guess my question is, if the public overwhelmingly voted, why are we still even talking about it?
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question for the legislators, I think. To me, it doesn't make much sense if the people have already spoken, but I'm not in charge.
Yeah, neither am I. I know what happened, though, because as typically happens, when the public votes for a referendum and the legislature takes a look at it and doesn't want to be totally bound, they pass something ahead of it, which is veto proof, and they get their way without actually implementing the public version of it. Yes.
Perhaps. I mean, if you're speaking directly on the referendum piece, both of these bills do have an appropriations portion, so it is referendum proof in that sense. Overall, however, I'd say this is still remarkably similar to what was considered in 2012.
How do they have a financial piece, a budget piece?
Well, yes. So in each bill, there's a specific provision that appropriates a sum of money to educate the people of Michigan on the law, to educate workers, to help implement the law. But when you attach a rider like that to one of these bills, it removes the people's ability to put this on the ballot via referendum.
But theoretically, they could pass a bill without that attachment. Correct?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, in 2018, Governor Whitmer unleashed a transparency plan as part of her candidacy. And one of her pledges in that plan was to veto any bill that had this kind of an appropriations attachment that would prevent a referendum.
So we're pretty convinced then that if she gets this piece of legislation, she'll veto it, right?
Well, I can't read the governor's mind. We will see.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath, huh?
I'd say it's less likely to happen that way, yeah.
So there was a story about right to work, border state to border state, where just across the border there was not right to work, and in another state there was right to work. And the state without right to work laws actually, in the long run, was doing better than the state with right to work laws. Is that typical of what you find?
I think the study that you're referencing actually had it the other way around. Right to work did better than the non-right to work state.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry. Yes, okay. You're correct.
No, you're good. I just wanted to make sure I was talking about the same.
Yeah, we
study.
are. Yeah, we are.
Yes. So we've taken a look at that specifically here at the Mackinac Center. We found comparing Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio, because those are two right-to-work states bordering a non-right-to-work state with relatively similar climates and environments. We found the share of manufacturing employment in Michigan and Indiana was around 27% higher in both cases, which is not very surprising to us. There was a Harvard study doing the same thing the year prior, and that found 28% higher share of manufacturing employment.
So where does it go from here? I mean, it's in the legislature right now. More than likely will make it to the governor's desk. What do you think happens?
I think it's probably likely that she'll sign it, and then the law will go into effect, which would essentially force about 60,000 private sector workers back into paying a union. It won't have that same effect on public sector workers because they actually have a constitutional First Amendment right to avoid having to pay a union.
And what's the chances that there might be another public referendum?
Well, that's hard to say. If the bills pass as they are now, there wouldn't be a referendum, but there could be a ballot campaign similar to the one that was run in 2012. Whether or not that happens, I don't know.
Well, listen, Stephen, we appreciate your time and filling us in on it this morning. And if someone wants more information, what's the website for the Mackinac Center?
Our website is www.mackinac.org.
Very good. Have yourself a great day. We appreciate it.
You too. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thanks, Stephen. Bye-bye now. Stephen Delie from the Mackinac Center talking about the right to work law. We will now move into our open phone segment. So from now until 11 o'clock for the remainder of the program, open phones, whatever you'd like to chat about, 989-752-6111 is the number to call, and we'll get our conversation started. All of that is ahead right after these notes.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Enjoy all the benefits of Liberty Bridge for free until April. Save time and fuel by taking the most convenient route to your destination. Avoid congestion at other local bridges and experience Bay City's newest, most reliable bridge. Brought to you by local union workers and Bay City Bridge Partners. For your passport to the lowest rates once tolling begins, get your BC Pass before April at baycitybridgepartners.com.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Score cash every day with March Money Madness. The excitement starts on March 14th and continues through April 3rd. Each day from 5 to 7 p.m., 6 star players will win $1,000 premium play. So be there for all the madness. March Money Madness. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway. Reimagine. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened modestly lower and turned mixed. Bank shares are under pressure. Interest rates on treasuries have also declined after federal regulators stabilized Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. The FDIC says depositors have full access to their money, including online banking, though it's not considered a bailout because shareholders and bondholders are not protected. Also today, Pfizer is paying $43 billion to buy Seagen, Seattle Genetics, which has promising new treatments for cancer. And French pharma giant Sanofi is buying Provention Bio for $2.9 billion. BioPrevention has treatments for autoimmune diseases. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
The WSGW Morning Team.
WSW online poll banning TikTok, citing national security concerns. The U.S. government has banned the use of TikTok on federal devices. TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is Chinese-owned, and officials are concerned the Chinese government could access personal data. TikTok executives say that the Chinese government isn't asking for data, and even if they did, they wouldn't supply it anyway. Now there's even talk of banning TikTok in the entire country. Been some legislation introduced.
If it is a foreign-based technology that poses a national security risk, we're going to give the Secretary of Commerce the ability to do a series of mitigation up to and including banning.
The CEO of TikTok, by the way, is set to testify at a House committee hearing on March 23rd. So what do you think about the banning of TikTok? Should it be banned from government devices but still be available to everybody else? Should it be completely banned in the country, not available at all? Or you don't think it should be banned at all for government or anyone else? Or you're not sure? Make your vote. You head to WSW.com, scroll down the homepage, find the poll box, make your vote that way.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, your morning team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
Why doesn't Joe Biden trust stairs?
Well, they're not very good to him.
Oh, they're always up to something.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Open phones for the remainder of the hour, and we've got them locked and loaded right now. We'll start with Delmar in Saginaw. And we say good morning to Delmar. Good morning.
Thanks, Art. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I called you last Wednesday on the Arkansas 1410 House bill. On Friday, CBS Evening News only covered it for about 3 seconds. And Governor Huckabee did sign that bill, lowering the age of children working in slaughterhouses and down to 13 in slaughterhouses and 9 out in the field. Now, this is the kind of thing that's going to happen in 8 more Republican states, and this is what you call right-to-work states. When you have a union state...
Wait, hang on a second. Let's separate those issues, because right-to-work does not include... That has to be separate legislation. Totally separate.
When you have a right-to-work state, okay, all it is to bust the unions. Right-to-work is to bust the unions by having more and more people not paying union dues, Art. These states, when you have a right to work state, it only benefits the employer.
No, it actually benefits the state. If you check them out, you'll find out states with right to work do better.
The employers can make more money. This bill that was signed in Arkansas is going to happen in 8 more states. I don't know if you know this, but if you are under 18, even in Michigan, your employer doesn't have to pay you minimum wage.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to hire a bunch of 15-year-olds and 14?
Okay, well, let me set this stage for you. I don't agree with that law at all.
It's going to come to more states. It's going to come to more states that have that right to work. Because the union states, unions are going to fight that kind of thing.
Those states have the right to make their own decisions, whether we agree with them or not. We don't speak for all the states in the union. We only speak for Michigan. I would not want to see that in Michigan.
That's why this
but
is
I
so
separate
political.
that. I separate that from right to work, just so you understand.
That's why.
Of course, it's political.
This fellow that you just had on that Harvard study, he didn't tell you though that in states that weren't right to work, those employees make 20 to 30% more in income and benefits than those that are right to work states.
So do you want fewer employers making more wage, or do you want more jobs available because you have more industry?
So the thing is, those are the employers.
So you're not answering that question.
No, but those are the employers, though. Okay, those are the employers, though. Okay, that are going to have more money for political action, more money. Okay, more dark money to pay off people like Sarah Huckabee in Arkansas, Cargill, Tyson, Pilgrim.
Pay them off, right? Okay.
This is all about money. Okay, and it isn't money that's going to the.
Let me ask you a question.
It's not health care going to the women.
Let me
or
ask
children.
you a question. Let me ask you a question. You say right to work is about busting unions. Why have unions lost membership in states that are not right to work?
You ready for this?
I'm ready. I asked the question.
Okay, because you have employers that want to make more money and bigger profits. Take General Motors for a second, for instance, right here in Saginaw. Okay, when they wanted to pay lower wages and lower benefits, what did they do, Art, in this area? They started outsourcing to mom and pop metal shops and fabricators and stampers that were non-union, Art.
Yep.
Non-union. So they got rid of union jobs.
Isn't that called competition?
It's called making more money for the company. Yeah, but it's good for the stockholders. But is it good for those employers that work for Merrill Fab now, who are stamping out stuff for $12, $14 an hour, versus the guys who are making $25 an hour over at Chevrolet Parts Plant?
I don't know. Let me ask you another
Who
question.
benefits?
Let me ask you another question.
You're the one who benefits from this.
All right, let me ask you another question.
It drives up the wages in the whole
Let me
area.
ask you another question.
Sure.
If I take that part that you claim was made for $12 to $14 an hour and put it next to the part made for $25 an hour, would there be any difference in that part?
No, but it's different than the guy who made it his life. The guy that made it.
I understand that, but that's goes back to what I said about competition.
It's the guy who's making $12 an hour now that's working two jobs, and his wife's got to work two jobs.
All right. Good enough, Delmar. It's good discussion, man.
Coin, Art.
Good discussion. Fellas, there's always the other side of the coin. And as I said, I do not favor that legislation.
And then you can fire anybody you want at a whim too, if you're a right to work shop too.
Well, most employers are at will. Most employees are at will.
Well, I was a union steward right here at Covenant Hospital, and you won't believe the crap they used to get away with before we could have our lawyers from the union protect those people.
All right, good enough, Delmar.
Sexual harassment, life-threatening procedures.
All right,
that was right there at Covenant Hospital, Art.
Good. I'm not going to allow you to make accusations that I don't know anything about or we can't prove or otherwise. So we're not going to do that. But listen to me, Delmar. I'm going to take you off the air because you keep doing it. I said you are not going to make accusations that can't be demonstrated, and the other side have a chance to respond to. That's the nature of the beast. So there, I'm sorry. All right, we move on. We've got Chris in Saginaw. Chris, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Good morning, Chris.
I spent 41 years at General Motors.
Yep.
Retired. And I spent a lot of years in labor relations. So the gentleman that you were just talking to obviously has no clue what the hell he's talking about, okay? But that's beside the point.
Well, he was a union steward. He must know something about it.
Well, yeah, he knows one thing, as I remember, prior to the right to work state, the union stewards were there 7 days a week, weekends, sitting around playing cards and listening to the radio. Okay. Now, since the right to work state, they have had to go out and prove themselves.
Oh.
They have to sell themselves. Okay. The only reason they want to eliminate right to work state is to increase their membership. The unions are a business.
Yeah, he said that. He said that. That's true.
But by having the right to work state, they have to do something. Okay. I remember many, many, many years ago, back in the late 60s and early 70s, you could discipline a gentleman in the plant for whatever he did wrong. And if he lost his grievance, that was still his union. Okay?
Yeah.
He was still very tied to the union.
I also remember back then when I came to town, I think the general consensus was it took 1.5 people to do the job of one.
That's correct. Now the other thing is, though, lately being in the last, say, 20 years, the hourly employee who belongs to the union has no more respect for his union than he did for management. He'll sue his union just as quick as he'll sue the management guy.
Yeah.
And I've had committee men that have told me that, well, I'm not even going to write a grievance, and I have had to tell the committee man, yes, you will. As a management guy, I'm telling him to write the grievance because he'll get clobbered by the NLRB.
Yeah.
Okay. He has to now. As far as the right to work state, they still have to represent the non-union member that under the NLRB.
And I understand that objection. I understand why the unions would not favor that. I fully understand that.
But they just got to go to work. That's all.
Yeah.
They got to sell themselves.
Good enough.
Okay, take it easy.
Hey, Chris, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Yeah, bye.
All right, Russ, hang on. We'll get to you next when we return here on WSGW, The Art Lewis Show.
Hey! Hey, guys! Hey, come check out our store. Ooh, watch this fancy footwork. Woo! Hey, come check out our store. It's really cool.
Hey, let's just say there's a better way to get noticed. Brothers Designs is your one-stop destination for all of your graphic design needs. Business logos, signage, vehicle wraps, posters, business cards, uniforms and apparel, and more. If you want to turn heads and increase business, let's talk. Online at brothersdesignsmi.com. Brothers Designs, get noticed.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Get 11% off everything at Menards and update your home's lighting today. Keep your home safe and secure with Menards' great selection of outdoor lights from Patriot Lighting. We carry motion-activated security lights in stock to brighten your home and provide peace of mind. Right now, pick up an LED dual-head motion-sensing security floodlight for $19.99 after 11% rebate. Good through March 19th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 800-730-8405 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check. As easy as, that's 800-730-8405.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. And back to our phones on this open edition. Russ is in Bay City. Russ, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. Well, how about a little break? I'll give you a chicken Marcella update.
That's right. You were looking for chicken Marcella the other day. Go ahead.
So I went to Tiffany's in Frankenmuth, like the lady suggested.
Yeah.
And it was not chicken Marcella.
Oops. What was it?
What it was they had probably taken a very similar sauce recipe and whatnot. They made a pasta sauce out of it with diced chicken, and there was
So it was their version.
And it was very tasty. I would order it again.
Okay, but it wasn't Marcella.
It was not Marcella.
Okay, so now you have to get down to Spencer's because they have it on the menu.
Nope.
Nope.
Now I have a friend coming over this evening.
Who's going to make it for you?
Who is going to cook chicken Marcella for me?
I'll give you another place to look. I don't know if they have it on the menu, but I suspect they might. And that's D'Alessandro's in Midland.
Oh, really? I haven't heard of them.
Villa D'Alessandro.
Oh,
they're
try
excellent.
that.
Oh, it's very, very, very good. As a matter of fact, let me just see, since you're on the line, hang on a second here, and I'll see if I can find it real quick. Yes, okay. Let me see if they have their menu online, because that would be the key. Come on, computer. Why aren't they fast when you want them to be?
Well, you know how it goes.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately. And I don't see it on here. Here we go. All right, let me see if I can find it real quick, because this is a fabulous restaurant.
Nice.
Pasta, polo chicken, polo parmigiana, Toscana, piccata, Asiago, pasta, capellini, spaghetti, veal marsala.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, they have vitello alla marsala. Lightly breaded veal fried and sauteed in a creamy marsala sauce with mushrooms, scallions, and pasta. And that is also in a red sauce plus vegetables. So there you go.
Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds good. Well, like I said, the meal at Tiffany's was really good. I definitely ordered it again, but it was not the chicken Marsala.
All right. Well, we'll keep this story going. You're going to find Marsala someplace.
I'm having it tonight.
I know that. All right.
I can't wait. It'll probably be best here anyway.
Good enough.
All right. You have a great day.
Thanks, Russ. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
And let's talk to Steve in Midland. Steve, good morning. Thanks for waiting.
Good morning, Art. How are we doing?
We're doing fine. Thanks. Hope you are.
Hey, another great show. Love your discussion about the unions. I'm going to have to go back and we're going to have to rehash this one here a little bit. I think.
Okay.
Sorry. I think unions had a time and they had a place. I mean, the purpose of a union, in my opinion, and a company moves into town and there's no place else to work. The people have to go work there at the factory, so they could treat them like garbage. And the unions came in and unionized, so they couldn't happen that way. So
I think you just defined the history of the UAW. That's how they got started. Sit down strikes. Right. Back in the day, when a company mistreats their employees, what do they expect?
Exactly. And the thing is, back in the day, as we'll say, there was no other choice. You didn't have a choice. You had to work there. You had to work at the mine. You had to work at the factory because there was no other job. The problem right now is you have a choice. You don't like your job. They're not paying you enough. Go get another job.
Yep.
Go someplace else.
Yep. Exactly.
I guess that's the biggest argument for a union. Well, we're protecting you. Protect me from what? From getting fired for not doing my job?
Protecting me from myself if I'm lazy?
Exactly. I mean, they excel at mediocrity. I hate to say that.
Well, I will say this. I think, in any reasonable discussion, as you've indicated, times have changed, but so have the unions. I think they've moved away from the mediocrity model because they had to. And I do believe that the union employee goes to work and wants to do a good job, and for the most part does a good job. I'm not faulting them for that today at all.
No,
but in the old days, there certainly was, the guys sleeping on the job all night and all that stuff, and they got defended. Doesn't happen much anymore.
Yep.
Can't.
So bottom line, I think there was a time and a place, but I think that time is moved on.
Fair enough.
All right.
Good enough. Hey,
thank you.
Thanks for calling, Steve. Appreciate it. Bye-bye now. Take a break. Come back. We'll get to Greg in Bay City when we return.
Your home is your haven, and energy-efficient window treatments can make it feel even more comfortable throughout the year. Hi, this is Mary Ann from Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth. Save big with rebates on qualifying purchases of energy-efficient shades from Hunter Douglas that can help keep your home cool in the summer and warm during winter, all while helping you save on energy consumption during the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings Event. Vignette Modern Roman shades offer contemporary glamour with luxurious fabrics, while Sonnet Cellular Roller shades beautifully diffuse light to create a soft glow. Duet Honeycomb shades are the industry's leading energy-efficient window treatments. They feature a special cellular design that traps air to keep your home insulated from outdoor temperatures. Hunter Douglas window treatments can help you save on energy costs in every season. Don't wait to shop the Hunter Douglas Energy Smart Style Savings Event now through April 10th. Warden Interiors in Frankenmuth, celebrating over 60 years in business. We'll help you bring it all together.
Hello, this is Carol Thomas, and I'm going to be presenting my next seminars in Bay City on Wednesday, March 15th. I'll be at the Doubletree Hotel at 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock.
And due to overwhelming response, Carol has now added a noon session.
They always fill up, so if you're interested in attending, please call my office at 989-793-2300. I talk about wills and trusts, the importance of them to get assets protected if you ever need nursing home care. It's also extremely important to understand why you need a financial power of attorney. Why do you need a medical power of attorney? I love presenting the seminars because this is where you're going to find out what is necessary. I've had so many people come to my office recently that I am not able to help because they do not have their documents set up. I think it's worth your time to come to one seminar, learn what you need to know, and then you can make the decision. But isn't it amazing? By coming to one seminar, you can learn how to protect your life savings. Please call my office at 989-793-2300 to make a reservation. I promise you, you will not be disappointed if you come to one of my seminars.
EFPTOZ.
What are you doing?
Testing my doubler vision.
Doubler vision?
So I don't miss the doubler message on my daily games tickets.
For a limited time, Michigan Lottery is printing doubler messages on random daily 3 and forward box and two-way tickets. If your winning ticket has it, you double your prize winnings.
Ooh, move over.
Hey.
EFP. You can play at this game.
Don't miss daily 3 and 4 doubler days from the Michigan Lottery for a limited time this month. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
Every piece of land has a story. The Upshaw's right there is with a John Deere 1 Series tractor they call Penny. And this is Shaw.
Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
When he's not cutting grass, he's cutting hair.
So every person is different, from hair tight to head shape. And I feel like it's the same way in a yard.
Front loader to backhoe, the Upshaws have the tools to DIY all day long. Run with us on a 1 Series tractor and start telling your story. Learn more at johndeere.com/radio.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PRIDE to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text PRIDE to 42424. That's PRIDE to 42424.
The WSGW Morning Team.
A lot of people are trying to figure this one out because it's the misspelling of a person's name, and this person is a historical figure. He's associated with baseball, but as a lot of people are pointing out, you don't even really have to be a baseball fan with the historical significance that Jackie Robinson is known for. breaking the color barrier in baseball. Well, apparently in New York, there's a road sign in Queens, which was put up and because they have a section of road. It's called the Jackie Robinson Parkway. And when they put the sign up, they unfortunately spelled it Jackie, and they forgot to put the C in his name. Jakie. They missed the C. Yeah. And they put the sign up. The New York Department of Transportation might have missed it, but a lot of other people didn't. That's the kind of situation that even if I was sure, I might check anyway and say, I know it's spelled this way, but someone just look at it to make sure that I didn't screw up. Such as Denise, for example.
People never ask me. They just spell it the common way.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, your morning team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
Back with you here on WSGW and back to our phones. And Greg is in Bay City. Greg, good morning to you. Welcome.
Good morning, Art. Good to hear you, and some good subjects. I just wanted to comment on the unions a little bit. Sure. I worked for GM at 2 different sites for a total of 31 years. And after I first started working for GM, I had to ask some of the more seasonal people that, seasoned people that worked there. I said, well, what does the union do for us? And it was like opening up, a big new box for me. I mean, they had one of the union stewards come by, and when I had time, I was on a break, and he was showing me around on the top of the roof. He said, I go around and check all the ventilation. I check the guards on all the machines to make sure they're they're working. He says, that's part of my job. He says, and he says, see all these drip pans that are underneath the machines? At one time, they weren't there, and people had to walk in the oil that the machines would drip, and it would soak into their shoes, and did that for years. And they did a lot of good things. I mean, I wasn't a big union supporter. I mean, I went to 4 meetings in 31 years, I think, so I mean, but I did see what they did.
Yeah. Here's the thing. What you've pointed out is pretty much what we said before. When companies did not treat their employees properly, they invited unionism.
Right.
Because of those very things. If companies were lax in safety standards for their employees, the employees are going to do something about it eventually, and that's unionize. And the union comes along and starts enforcing those safety standards, which is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. No problem with that. I mean, that really, you've identified the genesis of the union, because in the early days, companies mistreated their employees and they asked for it.
And as far as the issue of the stewards have to be there 7 days a week, that's because they ran the operation 7 days a week. I mean, did they do much on Saturdays and Sundays? No. They didn't. Most of the time, if they wouldn't get called out. But if there was an issue, they were there to be called out. I mean, I know that they didn't do a lot. Sometimes on the weekends, the union people, but they figured they had to be there for the people. And they come by and they talk to you and check on you, and they'd ask me, said, anything going on, Greg? I said, no, everything's running fine. I says, no complaints,
Well,
and
you're pointing out something here. You're pointing out the other side of the story because there's always 2 sides.
That's correct.
That's fine. I don't have any problem with that at all. I don't have any. Listen, I have never had a problem with the union. I was many, many years ago, long time ago, back in the 60s, I was a member of actually 2 unions. So I don't have a problem with unions per se. I think that today the union is different than the union of, say, 20, 30 years ago. First of all, 20, 30 years ago, politically, you could count on the union to vote one way, every member. That's not true anymore.
That's true.
The membership of the unions is diversified. And maybe that's a good thing. I think diversification is a good thing everywhere. So I don't have a problem with it in the unions. And I think the unions have had to grow up a little bit too, and become more responsible in their work ethic and what they do and who they protect and how they protect them. I think that's just been an evolution. So I think the union of today is a little different than the union of a couple of decades ago.
One thing they would send out literature trying to promote you to vote politically in a certain way, and I know a lot of people, myself included, would not follow that.
Yeah, and that's more so today than ever. More so today than ever. And also, I think something else has to be pointed out. The union members, the hardworking men and women who go into the shops every day and do their job, are very responsible and very qualified for what they do. It's their leadership that's let them down over the years. How many GM execs are now in prison because they, misused their positions? Teamsters had those problems years ago, and that's the problem. Is that the upper echelon of the unions caused the problems for the rest of the union? So there you go.
Yep.
All right.
Well, thank you, Art.
Yeah, well, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Thanks, Greg. Anytime. Bye now. So there you have it. I mean, it's this is it's not an easy topic to talk about, particularly in a state like Michigan, which is, a bedrock of unionism, has been for a long time. But unions have changed. They've seen the writing on the wall too. And as they lose membership, they look for new ways to entice membership. And again, there's nothing wrong with unions. Companies that find themselves being unionized typically have asked for it because of the way they treat their employees. We'll take our last break and then come back and close out.
The Sawmill Pub and Grill welcomes you back Friday, March 17th on St. Patty's Day. Corned beef and cabbage will be on the menu, and they're also kicking off their famous perch and cod Friday fish fries. Fish fries are back at the Sawmill Pub and Grill starting March 17th and every Friday through fall. The Sawmill Pub and Grill is open starting March 17th from noon to close. You can enjoy their famous St. Patty's Day corned beef and cabbage, and from 4 to 9 p.m., the best fish fry in town. Takeout is available by calling 989-793-2692.
A 401k can be an important asset for many Americans' retirements. You've made contributions to your 401k every single paycheck for years. Tune in Sundays at 8 a.m. on WSGW for your Financial Empower Hour with Jason and Carl Kreiderman from Great Lakes Investment in Midland. They will give you information like how your 401k's tax advantages and portability may enable workers to build sizable and important nest eggs. But its flexibility can also be costly if you aren't aware of potential mistakes. Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a guide that will teach you how to avoid an IRS early distribution penalty and full taxation on rollovers, the little-known weapon you can use, your most mistake-proof option, and more. Request your guide today at 989-835-7203 or visit GreatLakesInvestmentAdvisors.com. This commercial shall in no way be construed as solicitation to sell securities or advisory services of any state other than Michigan or where otherwise permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through Great Lakes Investment Advisors, a registered investment advisor in the state of Michigan.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate to a business of your choice. It's the WSGW Home Improvement Contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Enter online at WSGW.com. When you enter, you choose the business you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you're drawn as the winner. Businesses include Reamer Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Bay Landscaping, M&R Garage Door and Openers, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Midland Sand Company, The Tech Laboratory, All Seasons Heating and Cooling, Delta Door Sales, Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, Roof Max, Patriot Carpet Cleaning, Cranes L&M Appliance, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Westside Decorating Center, Big Ick Nursery and Garden Center, Mid-Michigan Garage Door, Bonifant Cabinetry, Woolfiles Ace Hardware, the home improvement contest presented by the Saginaw Home Builders Association. Deadline to enter is March 24th. Enter online at WSGW.com.
All right, that'll do it. That'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. Back tomorrow with lots more. Thanks for joining us. News coming up next here on WSGW. And then after that, we're off to Focus. And on Focus, we're going to talk about the Saginaw Home Builders Association and the Home Show coming up this weekend.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Two banks fall within days. The government moves into backstop, and the president looks to calm fears.
President Biden had this message for those worried by the news.
Americans can rest assured that our banking system is safe.
The rare move he authorized allows the FDIC to cover all the deposits at the two failed banks, and not just those below the traditional $250,000 limit.
No losses will be, and this is an important point, no losses will be borne by the taxpayers.
Mr. Biden urged Congress and bank regulators to prevent similar failures in the future. He vowed to do whatever is needed to save depositors' accounts. Stephen Portnoy, CBS News, Washington.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger tells us,
when we did the bailout back in 2008, we bailed out the companies, their shareholders, and management. The government is not doing that. They're protecting the depositors. But remember, shareholders and management, they're out.
There's been a bank stock sell-off today on Wall Street. Trading in more than a dozen regional banks, including First Republic, was halted. Now to California, more rainy weather could make a bad situation worse in some places. Thousands have left their homes, at least 2 deaths blamed on the weekend storms. CBS's Carter Evans.
In the city of Pajaro, a levee breach forced thousands of farm workers like Isaac Martinez to evacuate their homes and likely lose out on work.
On the summer, I work in the fields, picking berries, and I think this year is going to be hard for them. The water's too high.
California grows more than a third of the country's vegetables and 3/4 of its fruits and nuts, all threatened by constant flooding this winter.
After protecting 16 million acres in Alaska and the Arctic from oil drilling, the White House is moving in the other direction on a major drilling project on federal land in that region. CBS's Weijia Jiang.
The administration is saying that no final decision has been made and that it will be left up to the Department of Interior and the secretary there. However, of course, the secretary works for President Biden, so he will have his name on any decision, especially because it seems like that approval is going to go through.
What a night for the film Everything, Everywhere, All at Once at the Oscars on ABC. It won Best Picture and Best Director and 3 of the 4 acting awards, including the first Asian Best Actress, Michelle Yeoh.
For all the little boys and girls who look like me watching tonight, this is a beacon of hope and possibilities.
Checking Wall Street right now, stocks have turned higher. The Dow is up 199 points. The S&P is up 18. This is CBS News.
Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance coverage. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
You have a family doctor. Do you have a family plumber? When you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling problem happen in your home or business, you need to be able to call a professional that you can rely on and trust to make the repair or equipment replacement. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning has been the professional homeowners and businesses trust for 65 years. Whether you're looking for an emergency water heater replacement or planning a new heating system installation, you can trust Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to provide quality service and installation. Reamer has the equipment to fit every budget, experienced estimators, and state licensed technicians to install. Trust a professional to do the job right. Call Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Visit them on the web at reamerplumbing.com.
Any way you spell it, Reamer means quality.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive HER2-negative NBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies, snow, and 27 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Perchup. A man from Sterling is being held on a $2 million bond after an alleged armed standoff with police Friday morning. 44-year-old Larry Eugene Karkanen is accused of breaking into a home on Wyatt Road in Standish Township and tying up two of the residents before leaving with a female hostage. The Aranet County Sheriff's Department says that Karkanen crashed into a patrol vehicle, leading to a 4-hour-long standoff with law enforcement that ended after his hostage escaped. Officials say Karkanen then exited the vehicle with two handguns and challenged officers. When officers were able to hit him using less than lethal force. Karkanen faces 18 felony charges, including a first-degree criminal sexual conduct, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 4 counts of assaulting a police officer. A man was arrested in Flint after allegedly breaking into a home and stealing a vehicle. A state police helicopter observed a vehicle being driven recklessly around 10:30 p.m. Thursday and alerted nearby troopers, who located and pulled over a Jeep Compass. A video from the helicopter shows the vehicle drive away from the traffic stop. A trooper with the helicopter crew relayed information to troopers on the ground as the man abandoned the vehicle and continued on foot. Police eventually caught up to the 35-year-old from Pontiac and arrested him. Investigators say he had just broken into a home and stolen the vehicle from the homeowner. He is charged with several crimes, including home invasion, resisting and obstructing police, and possession of cocaine. The Chippewa Nature Center in Midland will host an event this Saturday featuring one of Michigan's sweetest products. The annual Maple Syrup Day will feature presentations on every step of the syrup-making process, as well as special games, stories, and treats. The day kicks off with a pancake breakfast at 9 o'clock, and the event itself runs from 10 to 4 at the Nature Center. Tickets are $5 for adults and free for members and children under 18. Meal tickets for the breakfast are sold separately. For more information, visit chippewanaturecenter.org/maple syrup day. WSGW News Time, 11:07.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with Roof Max, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. Roof Max is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace Roof Max.
Roof Max, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. New security measures are now in place at Michigan State. Among the changes being implemented, most buildings on campus will require key card access between the hours of 6 p.m. and 7:30 a.m. 1,300 on-campus classrooms will be outfitted with a lock system to allow instructors to secure classrooms and first responders to enter the spaces in case of an emergency. The university's camera network will be expanded, and starting this fall, all students, faculty, and staff will be required to complete active violence intruder training. Doctors and other health leaders are marking 3 years since the first cases of the coronavirus were reported in Michigan. The state's chief medical executive director, Dr. Natasha Bagdasarian, says we'll be living with COVID for the rest of our lives, but she's not predicting any major surges in the near future.
We're not predicting any big surges of COVID right now, but one of the variables that we're always keeping an eye on are variants of concern. And variants of concern, wherever they may arise across the globe, can impact us here. And so we're always keeping an eye on those and monitoring for variants that could change the projections here in Michigan.
Bagdasarian says not only do we know more about the virus now, we also have more tools, including therapeutics and over-the-counter tests to fight the disease. There have been more than 42,000 people who died from COVID in the state. More than 3 million cases have been reported, but that includes some people who have had it 2 or 3 times. There's lots of events in Ludington in the coming months to celebrate that city's 150th anniversary. It kicks it all off with an event March 22nd, the day the city was incorporated. That will feature a performance by the Ludington High School Choir, proclamations and refreshments. The big event is Love Ludington Weekend, June 9th through the 11th, which will have a downtown street party, fireworks, and Ludington Lakeside races. WSGW News Time 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. For today, we'll have mostly cloudy skies along with some light snow, expecting less than an inch of daytime snowfall with highs up to 32. Winds a bit breezy from the north at 10 to 15. For tonight, a lingering chance for some snow showers in the evening, lows in the upper teens. For Tuesday, at least some partial sunshine making a return with highs climbing up to 33. Wednesday, enjoying lots of sunshine, a high of 42. Then for Thursday, a chance for rain developing into the afternoon with highs in the mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Michael Carroll with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Right now, it's 27.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Focus is presented by RoofMax. That's RoofMax with 2 X's.
That's right, RoofMax. You can find them online at getroofmax.com, or you can call Ben at 989-859-6751. RoofMax, the safe, proven, easy, affordable alternative to asphalt shingle roof replacement. And speaking of roofs and the home and all of that, we're going to talk about that a little bit today, because coming up this weekend is the Saginaw Home Builders Association Home Show. And with us from the association this morning, we say good morning to Michelle Rivet. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, how many years now for the home show? I've lost track.
It's 61.
Wow.
61 years.
61 years. My goodness gracious. Well, let's start out with the where and when and all of that good stuff. The home show is this weekend. Where is it, and what else does the public need to know?
It is at the SVSU Ryder Center. It's kind of been our tradition for a number of years now to have it at the Ryder Center. So that is this weekend, as you mentioned, March 18th and 19th. They can come Saturday 9 to 7 and Sunday 11 to 5.
And, typically, as we heard in the news over the last number of years, after the pandemic, people were getting more interested in getting back into new homes and refurbishing their homes. Has that proven to be the case where there's a higher interest in the home show now?
For sure. I think with interest rates going up a little bit as well, people are really interested in remodeling and taking a second look at that. So we are still building homes like crazy. We're still remodeling like crazy. So the housing market hasn't really dipped too far. So, you're interested, you come out, and we have, over 75 vendors, over 165 booths to look at and talk to people that, you would be interested in whatever kind of remodel you need in your home.
Oh, you answered the next question I had. How many vendors?
There you go.
I can just turn it over to you. You can just talk for the next 20 minutes. So let's talk about the setup, because typically there are lots of aisles to walk up and down, and I assume the show's going to be set up that way this year.
We do. You walk in and you'll be greeted by a couple of our sponsors, which are great. You'll walk into a nice, wonderful display area where we will have a pot of gold raffle where people can buy raffle tickets and try to win $500. Down the way, we'll also have a new student build and showcase to show off some of our local talent as well.
Tell us about that. I saw that the student build was listed at 1 o'clock. What is that about?
The live build is at 2 o'clock, and we will have middle school students come in, and they will construct mini homes. So it won't be a competition or anything. It'll just be a showcase of their skills, and that is being sponsored by Carter Lumber and Dow Credit Union, as well as Designers Touch. And they are very excited to host that for the first time this year. So we're very fortunate that we had some middle school students willing to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously the future of contracting and home building is in the young people today. And you wonder if there's the same interest as there used to be. Are they willing to work with their hands these days?
Yeah, and we had a lot of middle school students excited to do that. And I do want to also say a big thank you to Delta College and their students in their construction class there for helping set that up as well.
Yeah, and that's an important part of the community, isn't it?
Yes, for sure.
And because, I mean, your members need employees. How are they doing in finding them these days?
It's always a challenge, I think, kind of across the board with any type of, employment opportunities right now. People are looking for good qualified workers. So, you start at the middle school age when, kids are kind of thinking about what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I think parents and the schools try to just educate kids on the opportunities. And so we're here as the residential building industry and home building industry that we want to present our case too. And there's a great opportunity for kids to be involved in the trades.
Let's talk about the show again. Any cost to get in?
It is $5. And if you bring a donation to the I Support
the 1%.
Yep, I support the 1% Veterans Pantry. They are looking for hygiene products. So if you bring in some hygiene products, you can get $1 off of your entry and support a really great cause.
How about food? We could be able to eat if we're there?
The concessions will be open this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the university concessions up on the mezzanine level.
Yes, and that will help support their programs. So we're all about giving back this year.
That's wonderful. Sounds great. Hang on, I got to take a break, and then we will be back. We're talking to Michelle Rivet from the Saginaw Home Builders Association. The home show this weekend at Saginaw Valley State University. I'll be there from 9 to noon on Saturday. So stop by and say hi.
The HBA of Saginaw is proud to host their annual home show March 18th and 19th, once again at the SVSU Ryder Center, sponsored by Builders First Source. Our exhibitors are sure to match your remodeling or building needs. Enter raffles, prize giveaways, and a scavenger hunt. New this year at 2 p.m. on Saturday, watch as local middle schools construct mini homes. Join us March 18th from 9 until 7 and March 19th from 11 until 5. Visit SaginawHomeshow.com for more information, including how to get a discount on your entry fee.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced elder law, estate planning, asset and business protection planning in Michigan for over 3 decades. As a veteran, I've also helped veterans and their spouses benefit from special VA programs. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you've learned the rules, what solutions work, and had your questions answered, such as, can I protect my stuff from the government and long-term care costs? What is the difference between revocable and irrevocable trusts? How can I avoid probate? And do I need to? Should I give my stuff to the kids or others? Know the rules and what solutions work. Get answers to your questions.
If your planning is more than 5 years old, you may have missed some great opportunities. Call 989-790-1461 to attend Attorney Jerry Reif's free workshop, How to Protect Your Stuff in 3 Easy Steps. This workshop is on Thursday, March 16th at 2 o'clock in Saginaw at the Capulco Community Credit Union. Call 989-790-1461 today or register online at jerryreiflawyer.com.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you paying attention to China, Russia, and Ukraine? Any reminders of the Cold War days? If you've been on the fence about buying gold and silver, now is the time to make the call. Securing your IRA or 401k with real gold and silver is a portfolio protection plan, and Oxford Gold has made it as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call Oxford Gold right now and ask about bonus opportunities you may be eligible for. 833-404-GOLD. That's 833-404-GOLD.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The WSGW Morning Team.
WSW online poll banning TikTok, citing national security concerns. The U.S. government has banned the use of TikTok on federal devices. TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is Chinese-owned, and officials are concerned the Chinese government could access personal data. TikTok executives say that the Chinese government isn't asking for data, and even if they did, they wouldn't supply it anyway. Now there's even talk of banning TikTok in the entire country. Been some legislation introduced.
If it is a foreign-based technology that poses a national security risk, we're going to give the Secretary of Commerce the ability to do a series of mitigation up to and including banning.
The CEO of TikTok, by the way, is set to testify at a House committee hearing on March 23rd. So what do you think about the banning of TikTok? Should it be banned from government devices but still be available to everybody else? Should it be completely banned in the country, not available at all? Or you don't think it should be banned at all for government or anyone else? Or you're not sure? Make your vote. You head to WSW.com. Scroll down the homepage. Find the poll box. Make your vote that way.
Charlie, Denise, and Pat, your morning team. 5:30 to 9 on WSGW. You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. I'm Art Lewis. It's Focus. We're talking to Michelle Rivet from the Saginaw Home Builders Association. We mentioned the student build at 2 o'clock, Michelle. How about any other activities going on the public needs to know about?
So the entire weekend, we will also have a student showcase where local high school students will be able to showcase some of the projects that they've done, perhaps in their shop classes or metal classes, and the public can vote on the best in show. So that went over really well last year. So we awarded some students some prizes, and we're excited to bring that back. So come and check out some of those local high school and support their programs.
Are there seminars where people can learn about projects and things of that nature?
This year we eliminated the seminars, but all of our vendors have really great opportunities. You have opportunities to talk to all of our vendors one-on-one and probably visit with them if you want extended information.
That's interesting because I find that's a better way to get information anyway, because you can be topic specific.
For sure. Yep. Ask exactly the question you want answered.
So give us an idea of the variety. What kinds of things are we going to see?
Oh boy, we have a lot of different vendors, windows and doors. We have banking and financing, brickwork, masonry, concrete, building suppliers, remodelers, builders, countertops, cabinetry, flooring, you name it. We probably have it at our show.
Pretty well covered it, huh?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the Home Builders Association, what it is and what it does.
Well, we're a membership-based association with members within the home building industry. So builders, remodelers, we make sure that every member of ours, if you're a builder or remodeler, you're licensed and insured. So when the public calls and asks for a remodel, you know you're going to get a good qualified company representing your project.
Are you a clearinghouse for that? I mean, if I have a project, can I call you and say who's available to do this kind of job?
For sure. We give a lot of referrals out. We have our directory on our website, and we oftentimes get people calling and asking for handymen or remodelers or painters, roof people that do roofs and siding, windows. So we are a great referral company.
In the past too, there's usually been a publication that shows the floor plan and all of that stuff. Will it be one of those this year?
Yes, we will have a vendor guide. We're working on that now, actually. So all of our vendors will be listed in that guide. You can pick that up as you enter the show floor. We'll also have new this year a calendar of our membership. So we're giving out a membership resource guide in calendar. So you can pick that up at the HBA booth at the show.
Let me suggest you work faster. You only have 5 days.
We got it. So see,
You got
we're
it
still
covered,
accepting,
right?
We're still accepting vendors. So
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, good. All right, let's
Yep.
talk about that. If
Yep.
a vendor might be interested in participating in the home show, what do they need to do?
They just need to call the HBA office, or they can go on the home show website. It's SaginawHomeshow.com.
Oh, that's a simple one to remember.
It is
And what's the phone number for the association?
989-793-1120.
And the show, again, give everybody the hours.
Is March 18th on this coming weekend, 18th and 19th, Saturday 9 to 7 and Sunday 11 to 5. And as I mentioned, SaginawHomeshow.com, you can find all kinds of information on that, including ticket pricing, including the pot of gold raffle. We're having a scavenger hunt. So all the information is located on the website.
Activities besides.
Yes, we try to make it fun and interactive too.
All right. Well, Michelle, I look forward to seeing you Saturday, and let's hope for a good home show and
Yeah.
good weather to boot.
Yes.
It's going to warm
Thank
up
you.
a little bit by Saturday and Sunday.
I hope so.
It's going to be
Yep.
good. All right. Look forward to it.
All right. Thanks so much.
Michelle, thanks a lot. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Michelle Rivet with the Saginaw Home Builders Association. The home show is this weekend, 18th and 19th, Saginaw Valley State University in the Writers Center, and we'll be there too, so we look forward to seeing you.
Liberty Bridge is your gateway to work, school, downtown, and the Midland Street Business District. Enjoy all the benefits of Liberty Bridge for free until April. Save time and fuel by taking